weeks. The money never expires. And get this, Washington has staffers called locators, G, whose job it is to hunt people down and give them back their money. That is their actual job. So why is this happening? Who is just letting their money sit around?
Well, I just did G Scott DOR, and it says, this likely refers to G Scott Jr., a tight end for the New England Patriots.
Well, that's when you know your kid has made it.
Okay. So, all right. So there's a lot of money. So, Angela, first let me ask this, because I have some reasons in my head, but I don't want to give them out because you guys know how I can go left. What are some of the reasons that they are saying that this might be happening?
Oh, I mean, I have to imagine sometimes people, you have multiple bank accounts, and so you forget that there was one maybe with a smaller amount in it, and then it's just sitting there. In terms of the safety deposit boxes, I have no idea. Maybe they died and no one else had access. That's a guess.
Okay. I'm trying for this to be as professional as possible because I'm getting ready to go left.
Well, sometimes you have to just keep it a buck. So This is a safe space
it's
for
a
you
safe space to keep it a buck? Okay, let me get to it. The reason why I think, I'm not saying all of it, but I want to account for some of the reasons why this could be happening.
Okay.
You talked about bank accounts that are out there, forgot about. It's not that sometimes they forgot about the bank account. They had the bank account. Some people died, and they didn't share with their significant other that they had a bank account. Or sometimes they had a safety deposit box, and there was only their name on it. You know, since we're telling the story right now, I want to share with you guys something. So when I was younger, I remember as a little kid going to the safe deposit box. And here's how I know. I remember it clearly because it was the only transaction that my mom would do that required another key. I watched it happen all the time. Because I was a child, I didn't bring it up. I never said anything to my dad or anything like that. It wasn't until I got to high school when they split up that wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
You know I'm trying to text my mom now.
So what I'm saying is that I think that, again, I'm not saying this is all of it, but a small fraction of this, the contributor to this is there are a lot of people who have made their plan B, put away that stash just in case. As a matter of fact, I would believe that women years ago, you guys remember, it wasn't until 1971 that women could actually get their own bank accounts.
Which is crazy, right?
And get their credit cards in their name. So there probably used to have to be a time that you would have to stash some money. Now, right now, someone listening, you have a bank account that nobody else knows about. And if you were to die, well, nobody knew about that account. So that's why you have some of this money. Again, that's just a small contributing factor.
I think that's a reasonable theory. And now you have me wondering about my own mother. I'm like, did you have this? What's the deal? Okay, so here's the question. We've talked about prenups on the show, and people have strong feelings about that.
Yep.
Should you, if you're married to someone, hide money from your significant other as your plan B? Is that something you should do? Is that basically planning for disaster?
I'm glad you asked me that. Now, here's my opinion. I think that if you feel the need to hide money, if you feel the need that you need a plan B, you ready for this sweeping statement? You shouldn't be married to that person you're with. Why are you married? That was the dumbest thing in the world. If you feel that you need a plan B and you need something tucked away, then don't get married. Simple. And do this and say, hey, I don't want to get married until I'm 100% in. A sweeping statement. You cannot be 100% in with your spouse if you're hiding money. That means you're 90% in.
That's so interesting. Okay, you're probably going to really set people off with this one.
I mean, well, I want to throw this back on you. What are your thoughts about any type of plan B? We probably should have this off the air and shouldn't be talking about this in front of everybody. But since we're talking about it, what is your thoughts on the plan B? If someone married, maybe they know and understand business, like, hey, Gee, Angela, I don't want to be left out. What is your thought? Can you be 100% into your relationship if you're hiding money?
Yes. And I'll give you, all right, hear me out.
Okay.
So I do agree with you.
Okay.
In general, if you feel like you need to hide money, there likely is something wrong with the relationship. However, there are some exceptions, which is where I'm going here.
Okay.
I have met people who grew up in an abusive household, and they grew up watching. In the case of the people I knew, they grew up watching their dad abuse their mom and the mom not having her own financial independence. And so they told themselves, I will never be in that situation so for some of them, just getting married is a trigger. They're afraid. So that money there makes them feel safe, and it's less about how they feel about their spouse and more their fear. Mm-hmm. So I would say in general, for most people, if you feel like you need to hide money, if you feel like you need to have a camera on someone, if you feel like you need to track someone, something is wrong. And I'm just leaving room. I think there are some exceptions where people are just following something that makes them feel safe because of how they were raised.
Fair?
Okay.
I think that is fair. And again, my reasonings for the contributing factors to some of this money was that angle. Mm-hmm. There are some angles, right? And by the way, I remember when my father passed away, right? Mm-hmm. There were things, and there were some things that we could not get to because he passed away.
Right.
And our names weren't on there. I also believe that happens in marriages too. You have those situations. So again, I'm just giving out different contributing factors to why this has happened. Sometimes the husband, something happens to the wife, and the husband knows about this, but the wife's name isn't on there, so the bank or the company or whoever keeps it. This is why it's really important if you have money in with financial planners. If you have money in different places, this is why it's important that you have an executor. It's important that you have somebody.
No, that's a really great
that is left on the will.
Okay, so I just searched myself, and and we have people on the text line saying, one lady said that they, this is Mark in Seattle. He searched the state website, found $258 coming from Western Union, has no idea how or why. So this is, you just go to DOR, and then under I want to on the left, you can search unclaimed property. So check it out. And text us 888-973-5476. Let us know how you feel about this discussion and your thoughts on hiding money.
Before we move on, I usually don't make comments to something like this, some type of awful thing. Susan in the 253 says, Gee, you almost sounded smart. I agreed with your Facebook thoughts, but this, just because you stash money doesn't mean you shouldn't get married. That's just dumb. Okay. Let me say this. You can get married whenever you want to. You can get married at 18. Some states you can get married at 16. You can get married whenever you want to. What I said, and I stand behind this. If you have money stashed that you are hiding because it's a plan B, that means you're not 100% in that relationship. That means that you're 90%. And I stand on that. If you got money hidden, you're 90%.
So how do you feel about prenups? Do you put that in the same category?
I think that if you do a prenup, I understand that because a prenup, and by the way, I've seen pro athletes go through these things. Mm-hmm. The prenup, all the prenup is you're going through a divorce before you get married. You line up everything that would happen. Like in order for it's in the state of Washington and everything like that, you actually line up that you have representation, he has representation. There, you actually are doing a divorce before. So that's all a prenup is. Hey, if this happens, this is what's going down. You get this, you get that. So if the marriage does dissolve, bam, that prenup's in place, and here are the agreements. But I don't. I absolutely stand on that. I think that if you have a plan B, and if that plan B is just in case this doesn't work out, then you're not 100% in.
Okay.
All right,
next story. Next? All right. Since the Trump administration took office, we've had a lot of debates about H-1B visas, the program that allows U.S. employers to hire foreign workers with a special skill temporarily. Now, on one side, you've heard accusations that companies are prioritizing them over American workers, taking American jobs. But a recent article in Business Insider took a deep dive into what it's actually like for the workers. They interviewed 7 of them here on H-1B visas. Now, this is 7 current and former. They moved from India. They found work in big tech. And what started as this American dream began to feel like a burden. Now, some of the things that they talked about, Gee, I have to tell you, we hear these headlines, but we don't know what life is like.
Right.
And they said that if you're laid off, you only have 60 days to find a job. And it has to be in the same industry. Many workers said they felt like second-class citizens in the workforce. Others said they're afraid to speak publicly for fear of losing their jobs or immigration status. Several had U.S.-born children, which added this complexity. So what I also found interesting is that some had been here for, let's say, a decade, working for these companies like Amazon or Google and contributing to what we have today. And you just think, at what point do we give them citizenship for their contributions to this country? So it made me think we need to reimagine the visa program, because I totally agree. I mean, Bernie Sanders did a whole spiel on just how it is and what I loved about his paper is that he highlighted the disadvantage for American workers and the disadvantage for our guest workers, and how it's an unfair system that corporations are benefiting from and we're both losing.
You want to know, in all of this discussion about work visas, the border, undocumented immigrants working for companies, ICE making sweeps, you want to know what makes me scratch my head?
What is it?
Okay. So, first, here's my question. Are you allowed to hire undocumented immigrants? Because if ICE is coming through and making sweeps and going to the roofing company up north and going to all these places of business and going to these places, then why doesn't the employer get in trouble? Well, I mean, we can keep doing this all day long.
You are preaching now.
Right? Like, hear me out for a second. If this business has 10 undocumented workers working there, and they benefited from these undocumented workers, and then one day ICE comes and swoops them all up,
nothing is done to the employer. And I want to acknowledge we're on 2 different tracks now, because we were talking about the legit ones where you get the visa, but but I think where you're going is, once again, the corporations are the ones benefiting. They're the ones benefiting, whether it's the H-1B visa, whether it's, hiring undocumented and, illegal immigrants. Where are the repercussions for them?
So
they're benefiting from this.
How about this? And it won't ever happen, because undocumented immigrants in our country are the backbone. Let's be real. Y'all don't want to say the quiet part out loud, but then I tell you what, then do E-Verify all the way around. Do E-Verify all the way around. And if a business doesn't go through E-Verify, dock that business. Go to that business and say your license, your liquor license, or your business license has been suspended for a year. That's your warning. The next time your stuff will be revoked. You want to fix the problem? Then fix it then.
And we're going to need more time to fix the H-1B visa issue, because I think there's a lot to debate around there in terms of how many do we issue if they're laying off people. Where do those layoffs start? Do they start with, American workers? Do they start with those who are guest workers?
Right.
It's a lot.
And somebody texts in and says they use fake documents. Yeah, you're right. And it gives the employer plausible deniability. Do e-verify, and there's nothing the employer can do. It can't be subjective. But that'll never happen because you think prices are high now.
Oh, I know.
All right. We got worked up right there. Hey, scenarios happens at 10:47, but Seattle area vacationers, where do you think Seattle ranks when it comes to people going on vacation? We'll talk about that next. Gee and Ursula with Angela.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Get early access to Sleep Number's biggest sale of the year. 25% off the i8 bed, our most popular. Plus free home delivery. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic is your best plan for long-term well-being and personalized health care. Dr. Mixon, let me ask you a question. How long have some of your patients been working with you?
And we've got patients now that have been with us for over 20 years that are in their 90s who came to us in their 60s. The grandparents now in their 90s are living independently. They're not on walkers. They're not on canes. They're not headed for nursing homes.
I meet people and they ask about, wow, you're in great shape. You have 12% body fat and stuff. What's the secret? I said, it's not a secret. Longevity Medical Clinic has been there for 25 years. There is no secret to the fact that if you make those small changes, you avoid the big, bad, horrible stuff that most of us just think, well, this is what's supposed to happen to me.
And if you're heading downhill and you don't change your direction, you're going to continue going downhill. And what we do at Longevity is we redirect you and we take you back up the hill.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Jim Singletary here, Chief Roof Nerd at RoofSmart, where we're not afraid to tell you no. Looking for a roofing company that'll do cheap, fast work and just cover up the problem? No, that's not us. Want a quick quote without a real inspection? Nope. Just want a price without knowing your options? Not happening. Look, we don't want to tell you no, but if saying yes means cut corners, bad results, or wasted money, we won't do it. Period. And here's the deal. Seattle gets 150 rainy days a year. That's not wait and see weather, it's call RoofSmart now weather. We say no to leaky roofs, sloppy work, and bad estimates, and yes to thorough inspections, accurate quotes, and top quality work that actually lasts. So if you want an honest roofer who's not afraid to say no to bad work, call RoofSmart today at 206-487-4877 or visit GetRoofSmart.com. That's 206-487-4877 or GetRoofSmart.com.
contractors, and heavy equipment operators. Get ready. The James D. Murphy Auction Company presents one of the biggest heavy equipment auctions of the summer. On the auction block, we've got 13 excavators, including a 2018 Komatsu PC 238 US LC-11, a 2015 Komatsu PC 138, and a CAT 308 mini excavator. Also up for auction, a 2020 Komatsu WA 270-8 wheel loader, a 2017 John Deere 317G skid steer, 2 backhoes, and 3 rollers. Looking for trucks? Choose from over 100 options, including a 2017 Kenworth T880 with a wet kit and 4 Vector trucks. And if you're in need of contractor's equipment, we've got a massive assortment for you to choose from. Bidding is underway now and starts closing at 10 a.m. August 14th. And don't miss your chance to preview all items August 12th through the 13th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at our Marysville location. For more information, visit murphyauction.com. That's murphyauction.com.
At Clear Choice Dental Implant Centers, we get that your teeth, your budget, and your story are all unique to you, which is why our experts who specialize in dental implants will build a custom solution around each patient's needs. With personalized treatment plans and third-party financing options, we'll help you get your new teeth on your terms. Visit clearchoice.com or call 888-SMILE-05 to schedule your free consultation today and let us help Seattle start smiling again.
Office is owned by Dr. Alfonso Pinheiro.
Saturday, August 23rd, enjoy the 30th birthday bash for University Place at Cirque Park, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Bands all day, over 50 vendors, beer garden, and family zone. Don't miss it August 23rd. Special thanks to UP Refuse and Recycling.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Israel says it is taking over Gaza City. The BBC's John Shea says it's part of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's broader plan.
The aims of the plan include the disarmament of Hamas, the return of all hostages, and the establishment of an alternative civilian administration. It will involve displacing 1 million Palestinians.
I'm Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. Germany has dramatically reversed course on word of the Israeli plan and now says it will halt the export of military equipment to Israel, which could be used in the Gaza Strip. Belgium is summoning the Israeli ambassador to express its total disapproval of the plan. And in response to a question, European Commission Vice President Teresa Ribera has said Israel's approach looks very much like a genocide.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum is declaring, quote, there will be no invasion of Mexico. This comes after the New York Times reported President Trump secretly signed a directive ordering military forces against Mexican drug cartels in New York City.
No fear, no hate, no ICE in our state.
Hundreds rally outside a federal building where they say the 10th floor is being used as an ICE detention facility. They claim people are being held in inhumane conditions. New data show there's been a sharp increase in immigration enforcement activity across Washington state.
The numbers from the Deportation Data Project show under the Trump administration, not a single immigrant arrested in Washington state has been released under ICE monitoring. All of them remain in detention. The project also shows a dramatic spike in immigration arrests across Washington. 277 people taken into ICE custody in June alone. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
The Everett-based collectibles company Funko is blaming President Trump's tariffs for its second quarter loss of $41 million. It's a sharp drop from the $5.4 million profit they made this time last year. This week's primary election shows the race for Seattle mayor will likely be a close one come November.
Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell finds himself in the position of underdog. Harrell trails progressive candidate Katie Wilson by 4.5%. If the mayor is worried, he's not letting it show.
We knew this would be a challenging race, but we saw a similar close race in 2021 and a large margin of victory in the general election.
Katie Wilson says she is encouraged and will lean on her ground game to combat the mayor's war chest. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
On Wall Street, the Dow is up 227 points, NASDAQ ahead 177. KIRO News Radio traffic in Port Orchard. A crash is blocking westbound State Route 16 west of Old Clifton Road. You're backed up past Ruby Creek. And remember, 2 lanes are closed northbound on I-5 near the Ship Canal Bridge, so the express lanes are open northbound, slowing your southbound commute. Travel time Linwood to Seattle is 42 minutes, 25 longer than typical. I-405 southbound Alderwood to South Center is 49 minutes, 11 minutes longer. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs in the mid-70s. It's 64 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. So grateful that you all listen to the show. Oh, coming up at 10:47, Sophia in Scenarios. This is going to be a good one.
Oh, should I be scared?
You should be scared. Everybody should be scared because she basically goes to her current to ask for some money for her business, but then her ex is the one that's doing the funding. So,
ooh, all righty.
Yeah, all right. Which I have a question on top of that about speaking of the ex. But anyways, Angela Poe Russell, what we got?
We're talking about vacation. Turns out Seattle area folks, we don't do the budget getaway thing. According to new Nielsen data, Seattle ranks third in vacation spending among the 25 biggest metro areas in the country, right under San Francisco and Boston.
Okay.
83% of adults in our area took a vacation in the past year. 83%. That's huge. And the average money spent was about $4,700 per trip. And we've got some big spenders here. Nearly 600,000 people in our region dropped more than 10 grand on vacations last year. About 17% of people here did not take a vacation at all. And it's no surprise. That's mostly younger adults trying to save money. Here's what we're wondering. If we're already one of the most expensive places to live, why are we still among the biggest vacation spenders? Are we needing a break that badly? Are we, because you would think we'd be kind of strapped, but it doesn't appear to be. Are we putting this on our credit cards?
Sophia didn't like my energy earlier. She didn't think I wanted to talk about this because I was answering this in a very simple way. So I'm going to give you the easiest answer to this question that even you are going to say, okay, I agree. You ready?
Okay.
All right. So on this list for highest spending for vacation, San Francisco, Boston, Seattle, New York, D.C. What do all five of those top five have in common? I'll tell you. They're all on the coast. So when you get ready to fly, it costs X amount of money to fly from Seattle or from the Bay Area or from New York or from D.C. Now, here are the lowest spending places. Cleveland, Raleigh. Now that's an exception. Raleigh and Durham in North Carolina. Detroit, Houston, Dallas. 4 of those 5 are in the middle part of America. Those flights are cheaper. We're in Seattle. It costs money to leave from Seattle to go places. But your friends, your people in the Midwest, they're going places round trip for $200 because they get to go from Chicago to Dallas, round trip, Chicago to Atlanta, right? They get to do that easy. Where can we go? The only places that we can go that maybe might make it $300 round trip, you can't even go to Vegas for that.
Gee, this is triggering for me because you're absolutely right. I remember living in Philadelphia and I moved here. And I was like, why is it so expensive to leave this city in Seattle? When I was living in Philadelphia, I could fly all of these places. It was pretty affordable. I would go home on weekends to Pensacola, Florida when my dad was sick. And all of a sudden I moved to Seattle and there are times when just trying to go to Florida, it was cheaper for me to go to Hawaii. Cheaper for me to go to, I think this is ridiculous. So recently I had to get a last minute trip to LA from Seattle. And last minute, 10 days notice, I couldn't find anything under $500.
So now,
this is ridiculous.
Imagine a family of 4.
I can't.
A family of 4 wants to go to Disneyland from Seattle. Before we even talk about Disneyland, the hotel and that expense, that getting down there, that's already going to be $1,700.
Yeah. Okay, I really want to understand Janice. She says, nope, as a frequent flyer, it's cheaper for us to fly because we are a hub with Alaska. I would love to see your receipts. I think if you're a frequent traveler, maybe you're getting perks I don't get, but that is not my experience.
I would argue to say that I know a little bit of something about travel. I travel a lot. I fly out a lot. I can assure you that prices from Seattle are much more expensive than because in the Midwest and those hubs, you can get to those different places faster. And in fairness to Seattle, I'm not blaming Seattle itself. I'm blaming the destination, the miles, right? It's a 2,800 mile trip to some of these places going towards the Midwest.
I have a question for you.
What do you got?
Is it okay to put a vacation on a credit card? Because sometimes I see friends and they're doing all these amazing, and I'm just thinking, for us personally, because for us, we do have a kid in college, then I have a kid in Catholic school, and then add in the sports, and I mean, just all these things. I'm like, there's not a ton of money for extravagant vacations. So I'm like, how are people doing this? How are they paying for this? Or do we just have a bunch of rich people, or are they charging it? That's what I want to know. And is that okay?
Today, right now, young Americans, this is in Fox Business today, young Americans drowning in credit card debt right now. Delinquency rates have climbed 10% in Q2 of this year because right now, people are just saying, look, you asked me, should you do it? I can't answer that.
Right.
And the reason why I can't answer that is because I think wherever you are in your life, like sometimes people are, you know what, I'm not going to take that trip. And then one day you can't take that trip. And you wish you would have.
And you're like, I want to go. I'll just, listen, I did find this article, CNBC, this was last year, more than a third of summer vacationers said they're willing to take on debt to pay for travel. Because like, I only have this time once. Like one of my biggest regrets, I wanted to go on a Disney cruise. It was my dream. And I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
And now they're too old. And one of my biggest regrets was like, should I have just taken on the debt and gone on the Disney cruise?
Right.
And we would have had, because now that's over. I can't go on the Disney cruise now. They're too, well, they can, but it's not the same.
Can I give you guys a hack that I've tried?
I love hacks.
And by the way, no, here's the thing. I don't know if it works, but here's a feeling that I have just about prices. I think the internet, the algorithms, everything, if you're purchasing something from Seattle, I think they charge us more for everything.
I think it's probably an accurate sweeping statement, and we should test it. We should absolutely test it.
So this is what I want to tell you. I have had someone outside of the state look for plane tickets for me before, and I felt in my heart it was cheaper.
What is y'all's experience?
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Sophia,
it absolutely is. I'm surprised you're going out of the state. You know, I mean, I'm not the VPN. You can change your VPN. It's something that you can do, and I've tested it out in theory, and it does make a difference. When you said you had to spend $500 going to LA,
freaking LA,
I had that same thing pop up. I changed my location, $300 to go to LA.
No, but still same route, but just
same route.
Okay, so change the VPN. See, I don't know nothing about that. You just taught me something.
Well, it's something that you can do. I'm pretty sure it's allowed, but yeah.
All right. Hey, coming up next in scenarios, what happens if your current boo doesn't want to pay for something, but your ex-boo will? Next, Gee and Ursula with Angela.
KIRO Newsradio, the Northwest trusted news source.
Get the latest from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
It happened Wednesday morning just after 6 o'clock.
Experienced voices you trust.
Several people hurt after a violent Saturday in Pierce County.
Coverage you depend on.
More from KIRO Newsradio's Matt Markovich.
It's as close to a veto warning as you could possibly get.
KIRO Newsradio. We're on YouTube, our app, your smart speaker, and 97.3 FM.
Hartley and Brent Wilcox on mobile pasture eggs from Wilcox Family Farms.
Hartley, you worked with our mobile pasture barns. Tell us what mobile pasture means.
Well, mobile pasture is using a big tractor to pull the barns to new pasture each week, so the hens have fresh, green, nutritious grass to eat every day.
Why is that important?
Well, hens can get about 35% of their diet from the grass and bugs in the pasture. So before they pick one area clean, we just hook the tractor up and move it to fresh green grass.
And the fresh grass makes for the most amazing colored yolks.
At Wilcox Farms, we have over 500 acres of organic pasture land that ensures we never run out of fresh Northwest grass for our hens.
Always check the carton to make sure it's local.
When you see Wilcox, you know it's local, you know it's fresh.
Wilcox is the only local mobile pasture in the Northwest.
You really have to see videos of how it works.
And you can at wilcoxfarms.com.
Remember, the grass is always greener at Wilcox Farms.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
And now, Tales of Another Way. You've got your same old playlist, but another song about a breakup is just a downer. 2 minutes in your music app, and now you're groovin', man. Sometimes another way is the better way, like the new SR 509 Expressway, the alternate route that'll help manage congestion on I-5 and other local roads. Tolling begins soon, and you can save $2 per toll with a Good-to-Go pass. Get a free sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Cars for Kids, your trusted charity for car donations, also accepts donations of boats, RVs, motorcycles, and real estate. Call today, 877-CARS4KIDS.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell is here. By the way, I just want to say thank you, Sophia. Thank you all also for texting in. We're having a conversation about VPNs. I've seen VPNs, Nick. I've seen it, but I just didn't know.
I thought it was maybe a little past your time, but yeah, you caught up. You're all right.
Wait a minute. I'm not afraid to admit it is. I'm getting old. I didn't know. That's why you got to hire a Gen Z.
You got to do it. That's what I'm here for.
All right, scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
I've been with my man for 2 years, and he's been great for me and the kids. But I'm tired of being a stay-at-home mom. So I decided to start a business, and I became a distributor for beauty products. I asked my husband for $3,000 to get started, but he refused because he said I wouldn't stick with it and would be a waste of money. He says I need to just stay home and take care of the kids. So I called an ex-boyfriend. By the way, there's always a waiting list. But anyway, I'll get to that. Anyway. So I called an ex-boyfriend and told him what I wanted to do. I'll admit, the guy has a little extra money, so he tossed me an extra $2,000 to get me started. He's not even asking for it back. He says it's a gift. I started up and made more than $7,000 in my first month. That's when I told my husband about it, thinking he'd be proud of me. He wasn't. He wanted to know how I got the money, so I told him, and now he's accusing me of cheating. He says no man gives up money without expecting payback. I told my ex, and he said, if he thinks we're messing around, maybe we should. What have you got to lose? I laughed, but he then offered to double down to invest in my business and offered me more money to help. So now my husband thinks something's going on, which it's not. By the way, there's nothing going on. So I'm starting to think, yeah, why not? Would you do this? I didn't know that.
Okay.
I didn't know that last part was going to happen.
Okay, let me just clarify this last part. So she said if he thinks they're doing it, maybe they should
because
get in a relationship?
Yeah. 888-973-5476. What do you got, Angela?
What's the question?
Well,
they need to go to therapy.
My advice is first of all, the last part about whether or not she should mess with him, that's a no-brainer. So we're not answering that.
But the whole going to the ex for money.
Let's do that. Going to the ex for money.
That was so out of line and inappropriate. And for the husband, it was out of line and inappropriate for him to just tell her what he thinks she should be doing. So I think they need to go to therapy before this spirals into an area where they can't come back from it. Mm-hmm. So that's I think that was a line you shouldn't cross. You should never call an ex and ask for something.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. I think that's the easy one. I'm coming back to you, though. Give me a second.
Okay.
Sophia, what do you got?
Obviously, I think it's terrible, but some people are playing, checkers while she's playing chess. Like, she's playing both of these men, and at the end of the day, getting what she wants. But it's not the coolest thing to do to your husband. It's not fair to bring an ex in at all.
Okay. All right. I think we all are on the same page. This is very easy. Now let me make it harder. Angela, do you think that there should be consistent communication with an ex outside of the mother or the father of your kids?
No. I mean, I'm sure there are reasons maybe people need to. Maybe they work in the same industry. But in general, it just feels like you're leaving the door open for something. Mm-hmm. And if you care about your current relationship, why open that door? That's where I land. So, no.
Sophia?
Yeah, I agree. Especially when financial loans are coming involved. You can, people
No.
it was a gift.
No. I think we all are on the same page. That's easy.
No.
My direct question is, if you don't have kids with the should you still be in direct communication with your ex?
No, especially if you're married. That's messy. I don't think you should be.
Dating? Listen, when I was dating, back in the, not consistent, but okay. I'm trying to think about how to put this. Maybe I just tap out.
No, I think it's different if you're not in a, even if you're in a committed partnership, obviously it's hurtful for people to feel like you're still talking to your ex, but it's a little bit different than, hey, I'm married now, but I'm going to go get drinks with an ex-boyfriend. That's a little bit.
Let me just say this. Here's where things change for me. When I found my person, I had no desire to be in communication with anybody. When I found my person.
Brother Nick, what's up, man?
It's one thing to have the dude not give her lady seed money for a business idea, because, it's her husband after all, but it's on another level to go on an ex for funding after being told no. You say there's nothing going on with this guy, I'd be asking otherwise if I'm the husband hearing about a reconnect with this ex of hers.
What's going on?
And I would give as much sympathy as I do right now about the situation, but with the kids involved, it gets really messy. And if they were two singles, like you mentioned, G, it's not a big deal to me, but you got the kids in there.
So I'll give you guys a rule that I kind of have off the record. So for an example, we have some friends in our friend, and this has nothing to do with exes or anything. We have some friends in our friend group, and my wife has her friends. Her friends, if I were to text them, it's always in a group. I never text her friends one-on-one.
Yeah. Listen, I have to throw this in because we've had several people on the text line kind of taking sides with the wife because they feel like the husband's a jerk, that he was being, they're.
Wow.
Yeah, we have several people saying that.
Right. So I'll tell you what we'll do. In the 11 o'clock hour, we will bring this back after the news, and we have to have this discussion because maybe there is a side that I'm missing, and I need to be educated.
He did get the ball rolling on this one.
Yeah.
You're not getting this money.
All right. We got a lot of stuff going on in the 11 o'clock hour. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula on her birthday. We got the Gee and Ursula Show.
What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get the same breakthrough one-day treatment I received at Advanced Hair during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during their best offer of the year. For details and a free consultation, call 425-449-8185, advancedhair.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Cammie McCormick. President Trump has reportedly signed a directive to the Pentagon to begin using military force against some Latin American drug cartels. The New York Times reports that would be an official basis for direct military operations at sea or on foreign soil. CBS's Nicole Skanga.
Use of military forces to carry out what has primarily been a law enforcement responsibility to curb narco trafficking also raises a number of legal and even logistical questions. For her part, the Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum today said that members of the U.S. military would not be entering Mexico. In a statement, a White House spokesperson said only that President Trump's top priority is protecting the homeland.
An appeals court today tossed out a judge's contempt finding against the administration and the deportations of immigrants to an El Salvador prison. Today was the deadline for Russian President Putin over the war in Ukraine. It isn't clear if a meeting between Putin and President Trump is being organized. CBS's Olivia Gazis is following.
Right now, there's a lot of meetings about whether this meeting should actually take place, because today was the deadline that President Trump set for himself in issuing a new swath of sanctions on Russia, or secondary sanctions on its purchasers of oil, should it not enter into a ceasefire with Ukraine.
There has been international condemnation of Israeli plans to take over Gaza City. Reporter Robert Berger is monitoring the reaction from Jerusalem.
Maybe the most significant thing is what we heard from Germany. Now, that's a country that's Israel's strongest supporter in Europe, and they're committed to Israel's security because of history, the Holocaust. And they came out and said, we're not selling any more arms to Israel that could be used in Gaza.
The Justice Department has subpoenaed New York's Attorney General over whether she violated Trump's civil rights in her handling of a civil fraud investigation. Letitia James says any weaponization of the justice system should disturb every American. Legal analyst Laurie Levinson.
One of the dangers of calling for Department of Justice investigation of James is the chilling effect it may have on her and others in bringing cases that they believe are righteous. And in fact, we have to remember, in the case against Trump, he had a judgment against him.
An advocacy group is suing the Justice Department and FBI for records on their handling of the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Democracy Forward wants senior administration officials' communication about Epstein documents and any correspondence between Epstein and President Trump. On Wall Street this hour, stocks are higher. The Dow is up 251. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A deadly officer-involved shooting in Bellevue. Details coming up. At first, KIRO News Radio traffic. In downtown Tacoma, a crash is blocking 2 lanes on the I-5 ramp to State Route 16. You're backed up on I-5 to the Fife RV Center right now. In Port Orchard, a crash is blocking westbound State Route 16 west of Old Clifton Road. You're backed up onto State Route 160, and you're jammed up on State Route 3 in Gorst. You have 2 lanes closed northbound on I-5 near the Ship Canal Bridge, so the express lanes are open northbound, slowing your southbound commute. Travel time, Linwood to Seattle, is 38 minutes, 21 longer than typical. I-405 southbound Alderwood to South Center is 52 minutes, 11 minutes longer. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. A man is dead after a confrontation with police in Bellevue. Police say they got a 911 call last night about a man with a sword. Bellevue police spokesman Drew Anderson told online crime reporter Steve Hickey that man went back inside the home and started shooting at other houses and at police.
We deployed SWAT as well as other units, including our CRT unit, which is our crisis response team.
He says after hours of trying to de-escalate, a sniper was brought in. The suspect was found dead inside the home. An outside agency is investigating the shooting. Seattle police are touting the success of cameras the city has set up in crime hotspots. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao says they helped lead to an arrest this week.
Detective Eric Munoz says an officer first noticed the disturbance while responding to another call and alerted their crime center to keep an eye on it.
As opposed to a 3-minute time delay coming after someone called 911 saying, oh my God, there's an assault happening. We were already viewing that.
Hey, stop! Police say a 19-year-old man was arrested for assault in what looked like an unprovoked attack.
Tacoma is testing artificial intelligence to improve recycling. The city's new pilot program uses smart cameras to spot contamination in curbside bins. If it's found, customers will get postcards with tips. They won't face any fines or penalties during the 2-year trial. The Humane Society of Kitsap County says it is over capacity. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Ottley explains.
Adoption numbers are down by about a third compared to before the pandemic.
We are eyeball deep in animals.
Many of these issues caused by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The lack of access to spay and neuter, particularly low-cost spay and neuter during the pandemic, set animal welfare in our nation back 40 years.
Strays and owner surrenders are up, and the length of stay for animals in the last 5 years has almost doubled.
The Seahawks held their first preseason game of the year against the Las Vegas Raiders and their new coach, Pete Carroll. Seahawks rookie Torrey Horton stood out with 3 catches, including this one from quarterback Drew Lock.
4-man rush, throw, ball is caught, spinning out of a tackle, touchdown, Seahawks!
The game ended in a 23-23 tie. The Hawks play their next preseason game a week from today at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs in the mid-70s. It's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula on her birthday. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, G.
So I get to see you tonight at Ursula's party.
Yes, we're going to Ursula's party. The crew will be there. I'm really excited to celebrate her.
No doubt. Hey, we got everybody here. Nick is here, of course. Sophia is here as well. It has been a great show, but this is now we're rounding out the rest of the show. And if you know me, you know what base I'm on right now. That's an inside joke. And if you're new to the show, I always let everybody know that I'm rounding third on my way out of the building.
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, we got to agree to disagree happening at 11:30. But right now, Angela is going to give us the news at 11. Let's go.
Before we get to some of the stories that we've prepared, I want to just close out on this discussion related to scenarios because it's important and something I think many of us can relate to. Okay. G, and I think Sophia, we were all kind of focused on the fact that she reached out to an ex. A lot of you on the text line were really focused on the husband and saying that, for example, quite from Deanna, the husband wanted to retain control over his wife. And when you earn all the money and she had to ask for money to do something is proof it's about control. Husband is afraid of losing that control. So that was one thing. Joey even said, Joe said that he should have helped his wife figure out a way to fund her startup business. They could have gotten a small business loan. So there were a lot of people, we were focused on that one aspect of it, and they just felt like the husband was wrong not to support his wife.
I think Deanna makes a great point. And I think those texting in, talking about control and talking about, well, she shouldn't have had to do that. Okay, you're right. But I just want to just say this one last thing, leaving out of this. I always believe that there is a waiting list that's out there waiting. And what I mean by that is let me just use myself for an example. I know that if me and my wife were to split up, I believe that there are people laying in wait like an assassin, camouflaged, hidden in the bushes, that's waiting. And so I just think that I always think about the waiting list, right? Like you might think that if it's over, okay, I'm out of here, it's over, she's gonna suffer. They're not gonna suffer. There's somebody that is waiting for y'all to split up. They're waiting for that social media status to go from in a relationship or married, and if that one day it stays single, them DMs gonna light up like a Christmas tree. So I'm selfish, and I've been thinking about that. But to Deanna and everyone's point, I get your point too.
Yeah. So her husband, the woman's husband in scenarios, clearly didn't get that memo because he wasn't worried about it, but clearly he should be. Clearly he should be.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get to this story. Cannabis sales in Washington have now dropped for 5 years in a row, and 2025 can end up being the lowest year since 2019.
Yeah.
The latest numbers from the Department of Revenue show first quarter sales at $277 million. That's down more than $100 million compared to the same period in 2021 when sales peaked at $1.4 billion for the year. This is a lot of money. The state's Liquor and Cannabis Board says oversupply has pushed prices down, but shop owners say traffic hasn't really been changed since the pandemic boom. It's just that the wallets are thinner. So is it just as many people walking through the doors? Why is Washington's cannabis industry such a steep? $100 million is a huge difference in 1 year. Now, I have my theories on why, but you want me to go first?
Yep.
I think people are getting educated. When this first was legalized, I'm forgetting the year, there was a lot of excitement. There are some therapeutic benefits, but like with any medication that you take, there are always side effects. And for people who use it recreationally, they're now considering, is this a potential side effect that I want? With social media gaining so much traction just in the last decade, we have more information on things than we've ever had before. We know that if you start using cannabis when you have a developing brain, we know the problems that it can create in terms of your executive function and memory. We now know that if you're an adult, and yes, I hear you, everybody who uses it for medicinal purposes, just like any medicine, there's a side effect. And there are cardiovascular risks. There are risks to your brain that are documented. I mean, this is like known facts that we are able to share. So I think it's a combination of more information and people choosing what to put in their bodies. And I think number two, the wallets are thinner.
Okay. So you say education. I think that that's a very small percent.
Okay.
I have two reasons that I'll give. Here's one. One reason is in yesteryear, there were only so many marijuana shops. Agree?
Agreed.
So there's more today than there were yesterday, right?
Yes, they're on every corner, it seems.
So when that happens, you can no longer charge as much as you used to before because you have to remain competitive.
That's fair.
So they said the numbers haven't changed as far as people, but for some reason we're not saying that's because your cost isn't as expensive, right? That's number one. Number two that I'll bring to this equation would be when you are balancing your budget, you and your significant other, and you're like, hey, we need to watch our expenses, and you write it down. Mortgage, rent, internet, car insurance. You write down things that can't be moved every month. This is a fact. Though your rent, your car insurance, all of that's going to be the same. Internet, those don't move. So now you got to go to the pocket of where can we save? Food, DoorDash, stay off the weed. So you maybe go, let's spend 50% less on the weed. I'm saying that I think is a direct correlation to also the drop in wine in Washington and the drop in restaurants. Constantly, we're hearing about restaurants that are closing down here locally because I just don't think people have that disposable income, especially today. And even if you do have the disposable income, you're probably saving more than you did.
Because, it's gotten to a point, I don't know about for you guys, where I go to I want to support the restaurants, and the prices have just gotten beyond. They have just, it's gotten so ridiculous. I actually looked at someone trying to sell me something, and I said, are you serious right now? Mm-hmm. Are you serious? Going somewhere, was it Ursula that said you went to a fish and chips place, and it was $30 for, it wasn't anything fancy. It was in Des Moines, I think, and it was $30 for some fish and chips. I was at a festival in the CD, and they were charging $20 for a po' boy and fries. And when you start charging those prices, I just think I can make my own.
Well,
I can make my own.
In fairness to these restaurants that are charging, wages have gone up.
Yeah.
Supplies have gone up. So how can they think about that? Somebody comes in, they want a sandwich, and they want all this stuff. They want the customer service, want all these things for under $20. It's rough. I'm not saying that.
No,
you
I
should
get
do it.
they must have expenses that they're charged, but it just, and even okay. So I know there are a lot of business owners listening who listen to the show. You have your own business. Mm-hmm. So when times are tough, is that when you raise your rates? Or what do you do? Because we recently experienced something. I won't say what industry is in, but I know this industry is suffering. It's a service industry. Mm-hmm. And this person, and I know that it's been hard times, and they raised their rates. And I thought, that just made me think, maybe the theory is I won't get as many people, but the people who come will pay more.
Yeah. Well, I also believe, and again, I've never owned a restaurant before, but from what I've heard, that the margin is very small. Right? Being able to turn a profit consistently. One little thing that goes wrong for a month to 6 months can mess up your trajectory for the year. So it's rough out there. And I think it is especially hard. This is why when they say when you want to open up a business, this is why they say slow down on the restaurants, because the success rate for a restaurant isn't that high. Before you get to the next news story, John in Shoreline texts in and says, hey, G, you're probably right about people waiting in the wings for our partners if we split. But I can say this for myself. My ex will never find someone like me. Careful of that grass being greener. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
Okay. I'm not finished with this.
Okay, go ahead.
John in Shoreline, maybe you just can't sell a pizza for $47. I'm thinking there's a ceiling. And he's right. Have you been out for pizza lately?
Have you been out for McDonald's lately? All of it is expensive. Everything is expensive.
So what
right now.
gives? So to John's point, is there a ceiling where it's just maybe we have too many? I honestly don't know the solution.
The federal minimum wage is still $7.25. Yeah. There are still people right now that's living in the state of Washington or living in Seattle with a full-time job, and you still can't buy a house. So what I'm trying to say is the system's all Samuel L. Jackson messed up. Mm-hmm. It's all messed up. Everything. So how you do anything is how you do everything. That's messed up. $47 for a pizza? Yeah. But if people actually made the money to be able to afford a $47 pizza, then that would give. So what really gives, and the real single problem, and I go back to something, Angela, that I talk about all the time, The problem we have in this country isn't the $47 pizza. The problem we have in this country is the CEO making 1,200% more than their employees. The problem we have in this country is allowing billionaires to collect $200+ billion and be worth that. That's the problem we have in this country.
Okay. I'll let you have the final word on that because I'm just thinking, how does that translate? So I get it, because you go to McDonald's and you can't even get a value, like the value meal is the idea of getting one of those meals, number 5 or whatever, being $10. That's over. I mean, those days are over. You can't go to McDonald's and a family for 4 eat. I don't think you can do. I mean, how do you even? It hasn't worked. But I'm thinking of even locally owned. But okay, here's one thing I want to point out. Here's one thing I have to point out. The problem with the way we do taxes in Washington is that these businesses aren't allowed to deduct their expenses. So if you need to save money, do you decrease your quality to save money because you can't deduct your expenses? So that makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one we keep talking about how things used to be. Okay, I'm glad you bring that up. Because in the 70s, when our moms and dads was out here making it, in the 80s, the CEO did not make 1,200% more than their employees. You didn't have that years ago. There wasn't this extremism or this huge gap between the top boss and the person that is working the front desk.
That's fair. You're stating facts. That is true. That's backed up.
So if we want to go back to how things used to be, or if you want to make America great again, can we go back to those times? I'm not trying to be disrespectful towards the CEO.
No, they should make more. Totally. They've always made more, but we're talking about the gap and how it's gotten wider. And what blows my mind is when I go to some of these places that are, let's say, charging $50 for a pizza, they're crowded. I'm like, who is paying for this? And I think about all the people who can't get in.
Right.
All right, let's get to our next story. Should I give you the little stinger just to?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do a stinger. Okay. It's clear that some people shouldn't be pet parents. They take the idea of that too far. But major problem in Thurston County, 2 separate animal abuse investigations have led to one of the largest rescues local officials have seen in years. The sheriff's office says they seized 4 dogs, 195 birds, 33 pigs, and 1 bull from properties and with what they call truly horrific and unacceptable living conditions. Many of the animals were malnourished, infested with parasites, and in some cases, forced to live alongside the remains of other dead animals. First-degree animal cruelty is a felony, but still unclear if charges will be filed. And, this is coming at a time when the shelters are being overrun with animals because of so many people. Like, this is a case of abuse, but we have folks, just regular folks with 1 or 2 pets, that are having to turn them in because of how they're just not able to afford them right now. Like that list you talked about earlier.
You want to know who bothers me?
Who?
The people who go and get that dog in the spring when the weather starts getting good, and they want to be out there and they want to show off the dog. And then when the wintertime comes, these are some of the folks that go want to turn the dogs in. That bothers me. The truth is that I think we have a lot of irresponsible people that become pet owners. The truth is, if you're talking about a dog, let's just say a dog. If you do things the right way by that dog is almost like a child. You have to pay that much attention. You have to be there for that dog. Too many people get dogs for the wrong reason. This is why the shelters, I don't have any data in front of my face, but I bet you September, October, or November, when the weather starts to turn in November, I guarantee you there's an uptick of people turning animals in. So that's the part right there.
There's those people, and I absolutely agree with you. Those spontaneous decisions that aren't necessarily thought out. And listen, I kept a dog for 1 week for a friend and loved the dog, but I was like, no, this is a lot of work. It was a lot of work.
I got a minute and a half there, Nick. A minute and a half. Now check this out. Y'all know me. I like to make things spicy. And since you're talking about animals, let me ask this. sometimes you have people that split up. We're no longer together anymore, but they share an animal together. They had a dog that they brought together and they split up, and you take the dog this 2 weeks, I'll take the dog this 2 weeks. Here's my question. If you are the new person that gets in a relationship with someone who still keeps a connection based on an animal, is that good or bad?
My instinct is I'm out.
I'm out too. I'm out. I just don't want my significant other sharing an animal with someone. There is just something about that bond that is just a recipe for my disaster.
I feel so judgmental saying that. I feel, and I always have this motto that I actually got from another person, an educator, who said, whenever I'm tempted to judge, I go into curiosity. So I'm judging, and with time, I'll move into curiosity. I am curious
about... So, what the young folks doing out there? Are y'all sharing dogs and cats and stuff?
I've seen some that have done that. I don't love it. I mean, my thing is whenever... I've had a lot of friends that have adopted cats in couples, and the first thing I said to them, I'm like, okay, you need to decide right now who's getting the cat. Because...
Like a prenup.
Yeah, exactly. You guys can share it, but at the end of the day, it has to be one person. Because this back and forth, they're not a child, and that just makes things messy if you have to do co-parenting for a pet.
Nick, what you think, man?
I can't stand it. You got to be married or in a family if you're going to have a pet. I don't want to have these couples
visitation,
just getting these pets and, jumping into these commitments when they don't even realize they want it.
Look, y'all, I thought it was just me. I thought I was selfish. No way in the world I want my significant other still sharing an animal with her ex. Oh!
No.
Agree to disagree comes up next. Gee and Ursula with Angela. This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Seattle is the nation's most male-skewed major city. There's more men in Seattle. They say in the article here, they said the most masculine city, but I absolutely disagree with that.
You've seen the men in this town.
Exactly.
Please. It's not like it's 80-20.
No,
that's when it's hard to meet a lady.
That's true.
When there's 4 guys for every girl. That's when it's here come the bride's time.
The Jake and Spike Show.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
On KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Hi, it's John Curley. Longevity Medical Clinic has been helping people live longer, healthier lives for more than 25 years. I've recently talked with Dr. Mixon about his approach to proactively focusing on prevention. Dr. Mixon, I first met you in 2009, and I went in there and I told you I wasn't feeling well, couldn't gain any muscle mass, couldn't sleep well, I was stressed out, and you looked at me and you said, yeah, I know what your problem is.
And all we did was we measured your values and we moved your values back to those of a nice, healthy 25-year-old man.
I have taken your blood work to my doctor, and he was shocked. He couldn't believe the depth in which you study my blood.
We need to draw a distinction between living a long time and getting old. And that's what longevity is all about, is we are here to do the measurements and help you fix those problems.
So get your free health analysis. Go to longevitymedicalclinic.com. That's longevitymedicalclinic.com.
By texting 26022, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Tax Lien Code. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at taxliencode.com.
Imagine waking up and not needing to rush. No commute, no emails, no boss. Just coffee, sunlight, and the freedom to choose. That's the power of tax lien investing. It's been around for over 200 years, used by banks, hedge funds, and the wealthy. And now, finally, it's being taught right here in Seattle. It's secure, predictable, passive income backed by real estate and mandated by state law. And it pays you, sometimes 15 to 35% returns. You don't need to own property. You just need to see how it works and how to do it right. We've taught over 100,000 students, and we'll teach you for free at a live masterclass right here in Seattle. If you're ready to start building real wealth through tax lien investing, this is it. Text LEARN to 26022 to reserve your free seat. That's LEARN to 26022. But hurry, seats are limited. Text LEARN to 26022.
Did you hear?
A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Look today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Carter Subaru wants to buy your car. Carter Subaru will buy your vehicle for top dollar, even if you're not in the market for a new one. And when you are ready to buy a new vehicle, your drive begins with savings at Carter Subaru. Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Heather Bosch. Residents of Gaza City are sifting through rubble after an Israeli strike. CBS's Deborah Patta reports it's part of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's new plan.
Netanyahu has said he wants to occupy the whole territory. And in the early hours of this morning, his cabinet approved a plan to seize Gaza City, where Palestinians have been ordered to evacuate once again. There's nothing left to occupy, said Mahmoud al-Qurashli. We're already dying 100,000 deaths every day.
President Trump's deadline for a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine expires today. He's threatening to slap secondary tariffs on countries that buy Russian oil in his efforts to end the conflict. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is in Illinois, where she's blasting the governor and the Chicago mayor for not cooperating with ICE agents who are arresting immigrants.
They are deciding that dangerous criminals are more important than the families that live in the communities here.
There is new data on ICE arrests here in Washington state.
The new numbers from the Deportation Data Project show a dramatic spike in immigration arrests across Washington, 277 people taken into ICE custody in June alone. That's more than double the monthly high during the Trump administration. The data also reveals a striking detail. Most of those arrested have no criminal record. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Texas Republicans are trying to get Texas Democratic lawmakers arrested after they fled to Illinois rather than vote on a new congressional map that favors Republicans. Reporter Trevor Sakaki explains.
They're trying to get Illinois officials to enforce a Texas civil arrest warrant. However, just as that came down, we just found out that those Democrats are now going to California.
Here in Seattle, the race for mayor begins again as we head to the November election.
Finding herself 4.5 points ahead of incumbent Mayor Bruce Harrell is something Katie Wilson didn't expect. She says it shows Seattle voters are ready for a change. Going forward, Wilson says the race is going to be about money.
The corporate PAC money that lines up behind the mayor is going to be big, and we're just going to have to match that with our ground game.
Mayor Harrell says the more voters know about his personal story and proven commitment to safety and affordability, he will prevail in November. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
On Wall Street, the Dow was up 250 points, NASDAQ ahead 204. KIRO News Radio traffic in downtown Tacoma. A crash is blocking a lane on the I-5 ramp to State Route 16. You are backed up on I-5 to the 5 curve now. In Port Orchard, a crash is blocking westbound State Route 16 west of Old Clifford Road. You're backed up into Bethel, and you're jammed up on State Route 3 eastbound in Gorst. You have 2 lanes closed northbound on I-5 near the Ship Canal Bridge, so the express lanes are open northbound, slowing your southbound commute. Travel time Linwood to Seattle is now 38 minutes, 18 longer than typical. I-405 southbound Alderwood to South Center is 52 minutes, 11 minutes longer. Traffic brought to you by KIRO News Radio. This weather update brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Mostly sunny skies today with highs in the mid-70s. It's 66 in downtown Seattle. I'm Heather Bosch.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Fresh Fridays. Angela Poe Russell is in for Ursula. It is Ursula's birthday today. And I got to tell you, I cannot believe it's already 11:30. I think our topics have been really time has flown by.
It has flown, yes.
Yeah. So
it's been great. Thank you for having me.
All right. So I'm going to relax now. Sophia, you take the reins. Agree to disagree. Brought to you by Garden Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
Absolutely. And Nick playing in that Sabrina Carpenter really knew that.
Glad you appreciate that. Okay.
I do appreciate it. I love a good espresso by Sabrina Carpenter.
Who is Sabrina Carpenter?
Oh, wow.
You're serious?
Okay.
Oh, gee.
You don't know who that is. It's like, Taylor Swift.
She's
Dua Lipa.
she's a pop singer.
Yeah, can I ask you, are y'all surprised that I didn't know? Or
I'm actually not surprised. No.
I'm surprised.
I am surprised because I feel like, Gee, you're kind of usually hip and happening with the pop culture
No,
thing.
I'm actually not.
Well, you at least pretend to be for the most part.
Thanks.
Or you ask enough questions that I feel like you catch on. But I'll enlighten you and let you know more about Sabrina Carpenter.
And she broke
later.
Shawn Mendes's heart, right?
Well, I would have put it like that. I think it's the opposite. Oh my! You have to listen to the whole album. The whole album tells the story.
The album tells the story. Okay.
Oh, is that a thing where women make albums about breakups?
Oh, it's a whole thing. Like they'll
Women,
go back and
it's,
forth.
It's both sides, but I definitely think if you want to get a pop star's perspective on a topic, you got to listen to the music, and they don't hold back.
It's a powerful theme,
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, on that note, talking about your age, y'all are both Gen X, right?
Yep.
Okay.
The best generation.
Well, I'm glad you say that because, they oftentimes your generation has had some sort of bonding moment because you did things as a child that maybe some of us might think is dangerous today. Y'all climbed in metal playground equipment. You didn't have seatbelts on when you rode in cars. You would go to the park late at night with no adult supervision. And yesterday we were just talking about how kids today haven't even walked in a grocery store aisle alone. And older people like y'all have often applauded yourselves as being tougher than young people. Back in my day, my dad made me walk in the snow, blah, 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 blah. But when you really think about it, there's a logical problem here, right? Because all of the safety precautions that we have in place now were made by Gen X. So it makes you think maybe Gen Xers were thinking maybe we could use more protection, more supervision when you look back on it with these good old days. So in an article in the Wall Street Journal, they asked this question, that Gen X might be united in nostalgia, but is this nostalgia really a reflection of the good old days, or is it actually a form of a trauma bond? What do y'all think?
Wait, I'm confused on that part. So can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So Wall Street Journal, they're speculating that, there's a lot of nostalgia centered around the Gen X era of you guys being the best generation, having the good old days.
Oh, okay.
But they're
Nostalgia
saying,
or trauma?
Is it nostalgia or is it just trauma,
Want me to go? You want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. It's straight up nostalgia. There was nothing traumatic about lying in the back of my mom's car with my feet sticking out the window. I mean, that was kind of what we did. It was so bad. And just, those were wonderful memories of having liberation, freedom. What do they call it? Free range kids, like the ultimate free range. It was exciting. Yeah, you got into some trouble. I would argue that it was the boomers that created some of these rules, but so I think it's nostalgia. I think that we have overcorrected. I do think some of the things we have in place are smart. Yes, seatbelts are smart, all the things. But in some cases, we've prevented younger people from having adventures and experiences they have to overcome, and that impacts their resilience.
It's nostalgia. And you see, listen, Sophia and Nick, the two of you will never, hear me out. The two of you will never know what it is like to go to school. And when you go to school, everybody, black, white, Republican, don't matter what side, all watch the same thing.
Yes.
You see, y'all, when I say, watch this. When I say, did you watch the A-Team followed up by Silver Spoons? See, Gen X already knows about that. TGI Fridays. Do you know what that's like? Even in the early 80s, watching Knight Rider on Friday nights. Do you know what it was like to come to school on Monday and talk about Knight Rider? We only had 3 to 4.
I watched Knight Rider. Everyone watched. You're so right.
So what I'm saying is that in fairness to you all, today you guys have so many things to watch. Your favorite show. It doesn't matter if it was your favorite show or not. We all had that in common. That's why that bond is forever, right? So you can disagree with my politics or Angela's politics, but some of us have a real bond. Some of us know what it is like to wake up on a Saturday morning and watch American Bandstand.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes.
You know what it's like to watch those cartoons and have that cereal. You got your favorite cereal. I'm not saying we had the same, but these are the things that we Gen X kids all did the same.
That's such a great perspective that I had not heard before. And I don't even remember being a kid and talking about politics. And it was just a really different time. Sophia, do you feel are you having some feelings about not knowing what that's like?
Well, no, I mean, I think it goes to the argument, ignorance is bliss, right? Kids are much more aware of what's happening in the world, and so maybe politics might be more on top of mind. But I would also argue that still exists. Sure, we have more access to content, so more people are watching a variety of shows, but, excluding Nick, I don't know if I want to put you, I don't know if you fit in this category, but if you ask most of the young people, even here that work at KIRO, when Love Island was on TV, everyone was watching Love Island and talking about it. And
there was a trend at the beginning, for sure.
You know who
and
I'm
people
talking
still
about.
do watch it today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there, it's a bonding thing. Like, just literally last month, and it was definitely like we were talking about politics. We were like, "Did you hear what happened in the villa last night?" So there is still a level of that. Is it the same exact for every young person in the United States like it was for you? No.
Did you drink through a fire hose? Not fire hose, a water hose.
No, but also it's because our Gen X parents said, "Don't do that. That's dirty and disgusting." So that's what I'm saying. It's y'all that enforce these rules for your children moving forward. That's all I'm saying. Take accountability for that.
Yeah, but your favorite hero on Friday nights didn't talk to Kit.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh
now, my gosh.
Here's the thing about Dukes of Hazzard. If Dukes of Hazzard played today,
never.
It would be canceled.
Bad News Bears, canceled.
I'd argue It's the only time, check, y'all ready for this? It's the only time that I rooted for people driving a vehicle with a Confederate flag on it.
Yep.
There was a lot of shows back then that would have been canceled.
Right.
Three's Company. Okay.
Oh, Three's Company. Oh, my goodness.
It's a great show, but I don't know if it would have lasted today.
Completely inappropriate. And I'd argue there's one show that I think is probably the most important show of our generation, and it really helped a lot of people understand things. But if it was made today, it couldn't exist.
What show is that?
All in the Family.
Oh.
Archie Bunker. That show, I seriously believe, is one of the greatest shows of all time.
Really?
Oh, go back and watch it. It was the spinoff for the Jeffersons.
That was Norman Lear, right? Norman Lear, yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, all the shows, yeah.
All right, text message feedback, and then we'll have words to live by.
You never know what's in store each morning once you hit the road.
We've got a major traffic alert in effect right now.
While you're getting ready every morning, make us part of your routine.
What morning, huh?
Yeah. Got off to an early start.
Just tell your smart speaker to play KIRO News Radio or stream us on the app.
Both directions of I-5 are closed.
We'll help you get where you're going faster.
Maybe bail at 512.
KIRO News Radio. We're on your smart speaker, the app, and 97.3 FM.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Reutin, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20 plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at K2VisionRLE.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
At Carter Subaru, your drive begins with savings. With over 300 new vehicles in stock, shop your way, in-store or from home. Plus, when you buy from Carter, you support our community. Visit Carter Subaru in Shoreline and Ballard today.
Cars for Kids, the easy way to donate your car. Donate today and your car can be picked up tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.com or 1-877-CARS4KIDS.
It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Welcome back. We only got a few minutes left. Time to go over the text messages. Angela, I don't know if you noticed about me, but on Fridays, my news box is closed. So I'll let you pick whatever text message you want to pick. Go ahead.
Okay, and am I doing them all?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm over it.
I'm over it.
Okay, we were talking about AI recycling. If you missed this part of the show, Tacoma is testing this program where AI cameras go through your recycling and find the things that are wrong and send you a postcard to tell you about it. Ellen and Edgewood, are they going to send a card to the neighbor that throws stuff in your recycling bin, or the person walking their dog and throws poop in your bin?
Great point, Ellen. Great point.
Yeah, 206, recycling cameras. Good idea. I'm amazed after all this time how people still can't be bothered figuring it out. Contaminated recycling makes the whole load rejected or unusable. Our solid waste is an environmental problem, and the ways we can mitigate it needs to be maximized. Boy, that was almost like a quote there. Yeah, go ahead.
I need to ask my boy Cornelius about this, but do you know, I heard that all of this stuff, everything to end up in one landfill. Is that true? Are the recycle and the garbage, are they all at the same spot? Or are you telling me there's a different place for each area? So there's recycle is separate from all the other stuff.
Well, I think the problem is that most people aren't recycling properly. And so if even one item in your recycling bin isn't recycled properly, they just throw the whole bunch out to the landfill. And I think that's the main issue, is that how can you separate recycling if people aren't recycling properly?
Okay. What else you got, Angela?
We also talked about the double standard on domestic violence. Nikki in the 253, unfortunately, toxic behavior is a habitual pattern, whether inebriated or not. There is no justification whether someone's intoxicated or on drugs. They're exhibiting a pattern of behavior of violence. I know people who want to say, well, does she just catch him cheating? For someone to strike someone, especially in public, is just wrong. 2 wrongs never make it right. I think from the female perspective, most people in same gender want to justify female striking a male. There has to be an ulterior motive besides anger. Janice in Federal Way, I've never hit my husband and never will unless self-defense. I've seen many times a woman hit or punch a man, and I am not okay with that. I never feel a man should hit a woman unless it's to protect himself from her aggression. And I also want to mention this. Jess in Utah, I commend you guys and gals talking about this. What Angela said was spot on. People, men especially, should never feel ashamed to speak up. Yeah, and we had people who texted saying that they witnessed this stuff over time, and it was just kind of We got to do better. I mean, for everybody.
I'll jump back in. I'll just open it up. On secret safety deposit boxes, stashed money, 425 says, on the hiding money from your spouse topic, sometimes if your marriage isn't going well, but you're still trying, you have to tuck away a little something in case you need to hit the road. Wait, I got a sweeping statement.
Go ahead.
Fellas, when you're done maybe that day. When women are done, they are done 6 months to a year ago.
Oh. Okay. It took me a minute to catch that. Yeah. Okay. Well, how did I lose my spot?
All right,
News box?
it's fine. Because now it is time
It's time for Words to Live By
Words
already.
To Live By.
Okay, since it is Ursula's 60th birthday, I thought I would do something on getting older.
Okay.
And the wisdom that comes with that.
Okay.
There is a fountain of youth. It is your mind, your talents, the creativity you bring to your life, and the lives of people you love. When you learn to tap this source, you will have truly defeated age. Sophia Loren.
No play on Sophia, that name?
I was just thinking, I was like, hey, name twin. Thought you were going to say you were quoting me.
But I love that. I love that the fountain of youth is in like your talents, your mind, the creativity, what you add to your life.
Right.
That is the fountain of youth. I love that.
Nikki's birthday this Sunday. So I just want to say, Nikki, you know how much we love you. We appreciate you. Happy birthday to you. And I also want to give a shout out to Beth and Everett. I met Beth and Everett at the game at Ticketmaster Tailgate in Lumenfield. So nice to meet you, Beth. You're awesome. Thank you. All right. Nick, what do you got, bro?
Also, a shout out to our conduit.
I'm their conduit, and I'm glad to do it.
It's his birthday as well, so happy birthday to Chris Sullivan as well. Well, yesterday was nice to see the Mariners save a win, shortly followed with the Seahawks tie by blocking kicks and shins. But what's on the bill tonight is something special for our friends, so we'll save the night for Ursula to celebrate with no end. We're gonna have a really good time. And even with these shows and all the channels for our view, there's no chance that I'd be passing on this party with the crew. Even if it were one of the greats like Love Island or Love is Blind. I know it's hard to pass up on those, but we're going to Ursula's tonight. We're going to party with her.
That is awesome. Well, see you tonight, Angela.
Yeah, look forward to it. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me on the show, Sophia. It was wonderful working with you.
Always wonderful working with you. Everyone loves you. Thank you for all the hard work you do on this show.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Brother Nick, hey, man, you always rock it.
Oh, you too, man.
You know that. And see you tonight, Nick.
Yep, you too.
Nick, you already, I can't wait to have you on the ones and twos.
We're going to be dancing tonight.
Okay. And listen, all of you all, I need you to have a good weekend, too. And we'll be back on Monday. And I got to say, extremely grateful that some of you all listen to KIRO Radio. It means the world. Hey, the Jake and Spike Show, yep, they're coming in next. Make sure you stick around. We appreciate you for listening. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.